clearly it helps to work with a director who has a strong vision and a command of that vision. And clearly, after watching Moon, I saw that Duncan was capable of that. But I knew Duncan from before. I knew him from the time I worked with his father on Basquiat. So I felt a familiarity with him personally as well. So that added to my choice. I thought the script was exciting. Obviously, a jagged sci-fi thriller, but I thought it had elements that really grounded it in the contemporary in a way that that added to the story. I thought, it's has all of the trappings of a big budget, action adventure picture, but at the same time, it gets you thinking about current political and social realities in a way that I think adds to the thrills. I like the way the film plays with some of the current political realities that we face and uses them as a launching pad for the adventure that is this movie. I loved what Duncan did with technology in Moon, and there was clearly application for that in this as well, which is always a nice trip for an audience to suspend disbelief to some extent, to buy in, to some of these tools and technologies. I play Walter Rutledge, who is something of, if not a mad scientist, certainly a pretty self-absorbed scientist who very compassionate and very caring about things so long as they involve him and his technology. I did think of a few real-world characters, though, as I was trying to figure out the look for Rutledge and how he spoke. I did a little research on some of these quantum physicists who have some pretty amazing ideas and some pretty interesting character traits that I tried to draw from. One of the things that was mentioned that I thought was particularly interesting was the idea that our memory, or the depository for our memory, is not inside of our brains. This is one theory, but rather resides in a collective space, and our brain is the receptor for that information. So it's really an antenna that draws these memories in, but doesn't store them. So and that's something like an idea that we touch on in the film, though not exactly, but certainly that these things are being thought through and explored in this way is pretty exciting. And I think the film and the story behind the film is touching on some technologies that may be viable in the near term, if not now. You never know what's going on out there, Vera and I are working together, and most of our scenes involve Jake, but Jake is long gone, so we're communicating with him through a video portal. And so I've had a chance to watch everything that he's done because we have to respond to it, and he really is a very sympathetic actor, and that's particularly important for this role, and also very daring and dynamic. So I don't think there's going to be any problem for an audience keeping up and paying attention. Of course, we want to stay a couple steps ahead of the audience. That's always healthy to drive them through it. But I think we've gotten there. Acting is not very difficult when you have someone else who's open and who's also giving, and so it's just an exchange of of ideas and emotion and words and things like that, and it's just a very easy thing when you work with an actor like Vera, and very pleasurable.